Sorry I let you down.
It's not me you've let down.
No. Do you think it'd help if I went to see Mr. Sutton now?
You won't get that job.
I know, but if I just apologised...
Well, I suppose it could help.
Would you come with me?
No, I'm due in court.
Well, what about later on?
I'm going to be tied up all day. As a matter of fact, I must be off now. I'll see you later.
Mrs. Morris, on the second occasion that Smith visited Mrs. Brooks' home, the occasion when she was actually arrested there, did Mrs. Brooks advise you that Smith had returned?
No, but there wouldn't have been time.
Mrs. Morris, just answer the question, yes or no. Did Mrs. Brooks advise you that Smith had returned?
No.
No. She didn't advise the police either. Thank you, Mrs. Morris. No further questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris. You may step down.
Blast! I may still get off. I've still got my own evidence to give.
Oh, yeah, they're going to listen to you, aren't they? Especially after the way our counsel has managed to get right up the judge's nose. It's not fair. You've tried to do the right thing by everyone. It looks like you're going to go down. It looks like I'm going to get away with it.
Well, you've worked very hard for it, Bea.
Yeah, well, it's not fair. Hey, you out there, come on, open up.
Yeah,
I want to speak to our counsel.
he's at lunch. All right, I'll see if I can find him.
Bea, what's the point of speaking to him?
I'm going to testify for you. I can't stand by and let you go back to jail.
Bea, I still think...
Well, you don't have to. So just leave it to me.
Well, Mrs. Smith, what can I do for you?
I want to change my plea to guilty. No mitigating circumstances, no nothing, just plain guilty.
What?
I knew what I was doing when I lobbed on Mum.
You mean you aren't? You weren't suffering from amnesia.
Bea...
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Dr. Weiss was no fool. He diagnosed you definitely as an amnesiac.
Well, you better believe me. I forced Mum to harbour me, and I threatened to kill her if she went to the cops.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, of course it's true. Now, are you going to present my statement?
Well, you could ask for an adjournment. That'll give us time to get...
No. No adjournment, no angles. Just present my statement. Because if you don't, I will. Now, come on, get on with it.
Well, it's your neck.
So, I've narrowed the field down to 8.
Good. What time's the first one due?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
Look, Sam, when he comes, could you send him to my office? Hello, darling. What are you doing?
Courthouse is only a couple of blocks away. Thought we'd have lunch together. Court's adjourned till 2.
Darling, I'd love to, but I have to interview some lads about a job. Sorry. Oh, cheer up. I'll take you tomorrow, I promise.
No, it's not that. It's just that I'm having a bad day. Especially with Nick. Everything I do or say is wrong.
Well, you can't be right all the time, darling. Look, I haven't got any more time. I'll see you tonight, okay?
Bob,
Well,
would you consider Nick for the job?
no, Meg, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because if I did, I'd soon have every kid on your books banging on my door for a job. And look, we've talked about this before.
Darling, we've talked about favours. Now, all I'm asking you to do is see him. Give him a chance.
Stephen Carroll, Mr. Morris.
No, hello, Stephen. Look, I'll be with you in a minute. Would you wait outside? And anyway, didn't we agree not to let our jobs mix?
Nick's in trouble. Haven't you any compassion?
I can see we're going to be here all day.
Well?
Okay. But I'm not giving him the job just on your say-so. He can front up and be interviewed like the rest. If he gets a job, it'll be on his own merits, okay?
Thank you. I hope you're not disappointed.
I hope I'm not either. See you later.
Mrs. Smith, would you kindly make your statement to the court?
I went to Mum's Mrs. Brooks' house. And I threatened her.
And why was that, Mrs. Smith?
Because I wanted her to help me with my escape.
Do you mean to tell the court that you were in full possession of your faculties? That you knew who you were? That you were not, in fact, suffering from amnesia?
Well, I did have amnesia after the crash. That's why I went wandering off. But by the time I got to town, it had worn off and I could remember where Mum lived.
This is most extraordinary. I cannot believe that a psychiatrist of Dr. Weissman's experience could have been duped so easily.
Well, it was having amnesia in the first place that gave me the idea. I thought that if I played along after I was caught, I couldn't be held responsible.
I see.
Which means Mum isn't responsible. I threatened her and she's
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Brooks can speak for herself. Well, Mrs. Brooks, is this true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then why have you not mentioned it before?
Well, I was afraid. B. Smith has a reputation for violence. I was afraid that when she got out again, well, she would make sure I paid for contradicting her story about having amnesia.
I see. Mr. Waller, do you wish to question Brooks or Smith?
May it please, Your Honor, the prosecution would request a short recess.
The court will reconvene at 3 o'clock.
All stand.
Wonder how it's going. What? The trial. Mum and B should be back by now.
Oh, give him a chance, honey. A trial like that could take days.
Yeah, it can't be too easy to prove you've lost your memory.
Oh, you still think she's having us on?
No. Once she stood by and watched that rat Margot bash me up, I knew B wasn't fooling. Speak of the devil.
Oh, love. We're just wondering what had happened to you. Where you been?
None of your business. Get back to work, all of you. Well, that includes you too, Gaffney.
Hey, how's the trial going, Miss Bennett?
Oh, hasn't Gaffney told you yet?
And what did Bennett mean by that?
Went to court this morning. Told him the truth about B.
What truth?
That she hasn't lost her memory any more than I have.
You're a rotten liar. She's a very sick woman.
Bull.
I don't believe you. But if you are telling the truth, you're going to have a lot to answer for when B comes back.
Lagger.
Listen, kiddies. Old Fletch gave evidence too. Reckon what I said was just spite. Looks like the court believed him too, so it's no skin off B's nose.
You still lag.
So, she's still going on with her act. If she tries anything, it'll just prove she hasn't lost her memory. So she's not going to start heavying me.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I won't have to worry for long anyway. I'll be off to Barnhurst soon.
They don't send people like you to Barnhurst, not on your Nellie.
Don't believe me if you don't want it, but I'm all set for the nice, cushy life in the country.
In the light of Mrs. Smith's statement, the prosecution has agreed to drop the charges against Mrs. Brooks. You may step down. Mrs. Smith, do you have anything to say in defense of your actions or anything to add to your statement?
No, Your Honor.
The evidence given in this court shows that you attempted, willfully and knowingly, to thwart the course of justice. The fact that you succeeded in duping an experienced psychiatrist bears out the view that you are a cunning and habitual liar. One prison officer was killed and one seriously injured while you were being escorted from Barnhurst to Wentworth. From the evidence given by the surviving officer, it would appear that you had nothing to do with the accident. And while it is not inconceivable that you suffered temporary amnesia, your statement here today leads me to agree wholeheartedly with the jury. I therefore sentence you to 18 months penal servitude for escaping from legal custody, to be served concurrently with your present sentence.
Was there really much chance of B getting a mercy release?
According to Dr. Wiseman, yes.
B said she thought it was a long shot, but worth a try.
Not worth the risk of you taking the blame too?
You're a very astute woman, Mrs. Morris.
Not really. It's just a matter of understanding B. Smith. She didn't get to be top dog just by looking after number one.
So, you're free to go now, Mrs. Brooks.
Thank you for dropping the charges, Sergeant.
I didn't have much choice, did I, after Smith's statement? In my opinion, you're guilty.
Excuse me. B, thank you.
Can it, will you? Like I said, the mercy release was a long shot anyway.
Bye.
Well, that's very interesting. One minute you're telling the court you're scared of her, the next minute you're all out.
She's still my friend.
Yeah, I'll bet she is.
Just what are you implying?
You didn't pull the wool over my eyes. You're as guilty as Smith.
You decided to drop the charges against Mrs. Brooks. She was acquitted. Now, are you pressing new charges or just harassing her?
Thank you, Mrs. Morris.
Well,
I better be going.
I'll drive you home.
Thank you. I'd rather walk. I've got a lot of thinking to do.
Well, what could I do but tell the truth? I told them I thought that Gaffney testified out of spite and that her testimony against Smith was a pack of lies.
I see. It's going to cause problems, isn't it?
What, do you think that Smith's cronies might be out after Gaffney's blood?
Yes. Which eventually will lead to a power struggle.
No, I'm not so sure. I think they're too worried about Smith to cause any trouble.
I hope you're right.
Who are you worried about, Smith or Gaffney?
Both. Mainly because of the work I've put in on the Needs Committee. I spoke to Bryant about it some time ago. Not that I think we have much chance of getting it off the ground now.
Oh, come on, you're being a bit pessimistic, aren't you?
With Gaffney as top dog? At least Smith would have given this project some sort of chance. I get the impression that Gaffney won't even consider it.
Hi.
Look, not here, Terry.
All right, where?
Look, we're on duty.
Oh, yes, Miss Bennett.
Don't make fun of me. I'm trying to change, but...
Hey, don't you dare change. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have tame criminals like Gaffney. A few more like her around here, and this place will run like clockwork.
Yes, Jim Fletcher doesn't agree with you.
Oh, come on, love. He's just as anxious as we are.
He went against Gaffney's evidence at Smith's trial.
What? I don't believe it.
It's true.
What, did Gaffney tell him the truth in the first place?
Of course she did. Smith's been faking all along.
Oh, Wiseman doesn't think so. I mean, a man like him with his years of experience.
Experience? What experience has he had in the day-to-day running of a prison? None. A few weeks' duty in here, and he wouldn't be taken in so easily. I'm better qualified to comment on the way these women react.
Hey, I didn't say you weren't. Hey, look, I tell you what, I'll pick you up about 7:30 and we're going to have some seafood, eh? You like that?
Yes, that'll be lovely.
Good, fine. I'll see you later.
All right, ladies, come on, buy up.
Oh, about bloody time, too. I'm on my last fag.
Come on, Dobbs. We haven't got all day.
And don't smoke them all at once. Remember, half to me, all of yous.
One of these days, you're going to go too far.
Is that a fact?
You better believe it. If what you said in court stops B from getting treatment, I'm going to go you.
Pacemaker or no pacemaker.
You bet on it, girl.
All right, come on, break it up. That means you too, Bryant.
You heard any news, Mr. Fletcher?
About what?
About me transfer.
First I've heard of it.
Beatrice Ellis Smith, you have been found guilty of escaping from legal custody. And your sentence is 18 months to be served concurrently with your present sentence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thanks, Constable. Seems the court didn't take your amnesia into consideration. Oh, there must be some reason for that.
Smith? Oh, hello, Mrs. Davidson. Heard the latest?
Yes, Mrs. Morris phoned. When did you get your memory back?
Just between you and me?
Just between us.
When I was shoved in that storeroom, something clicked. Reminded me of being in the tunnel. Seems funny, doesn't it, an old lag like me getting claustrophobia after all the time I've been locked up?
I'd like to say that what you did was rather courageous. I'm sure Mum thinks so too.
Yeah. Doesn't matter anymore, does it? It's all over.
Well, you'd better go and have your shower now. You'd better keep a close eye on Smith and Gaffney.
Why, are you expecting trouble?
Well, Smith's not likely to take kindly to Gaffney informing on her, is she?
Miss Stokes. What are you hanging round for, Gaffney? You've got yours.
Just keeping the troops in order.
What about our deal? What deal?
You know damn well.
Oh, testifying against Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it didn't do much good, did it?
Well, it wasn't my fault. It was bloody Fletcher. When's me transfer coming?
It's not.
We had a deal.
Officers don't make deals with prisoners, Gaffney. You've been here long enough to know that.
Fags, Dumbo, and quick. I said half.
Don't do it. I'm warning you, Margot.
You and whose army?
Oh, Bee!
Oh, come on, Smith. You're blocking up the doorway.
Jeez, Bee, what happened?
Shut up, door. What's happening? She's back. She's really back.
You bloody bitch! You set me up!
All right, what's going on?
It's all right, Mr. Harrison. Nice try, Gaffney. But why should I send you to solitary? I'm sure Smith can teach you how to talk to an officer.
What were you and Gaffney talking about?
Nothing much.
Well, knowing her and seeing the look on her face, it couldn't have been very pleasant.
Just the usual name-calling. Best to ignore it.
That doesn't sound like the Vera I know. You could have put her in the pounds, you know.
No need for that. They'll sort it out themselves.
You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
Why should I?
So even though Gaffney's evidence didn't do me any damage, we all know how I feel about lagging, don't we, girls?
Too right.
Don't we, Lil and Bev?
Yeah, right.
But that means you let her bash me.
Look, I'm sorry about that, love. I did warn her off in private, but, well, there's nothing else I could do.
Oh, yeah, thanks a million.
I said I was sorry. If I stood up for you, but the screws were almost onto me as it was.
Yeah, I suppose. Still was hard on door. You could have told your old mates.
The less people who knew about it, the better chance I had of getting away with it.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to tell Margot for crying out loud.
I know that wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but she got up my nose. As a matter of fact, she still does.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do to her?
Have a look at her. She's on the run already. I think I'll let her sweat. Then when she starts to relax...
Something worrying you, Gaffney?
I want to go to my cell.
Don't you like the company?
Come on, Gaffney. You had a lot to say to Miss Bennett?
So?
What was it about?
Said she was a rotten mongrel, so
Watch
what?
your mouth, Gaffney. You'll be up on a charge.
She had it coming. She piped on me.
What are you talking about?
You know the deal I made with Vinegar. You were there.
Miss Bennett, if you don't mind.
Oh, who the hell cares? She said she wasn't going to get me transfer. Said that screws don't do no deals with prisoners.
Now, wait a minute. Are you sure that's what she meant? That she wouldn't try and get you a transfer?
Of course I'm sure. And you know what that means, don't you? Bea won't stop until she gets me now. She's practically signed my death warrant.
Home, darling.
Hello, love.
How things go at court?
Oh, the charges against Mum were dropped.
Well, that sounds like good news. Why the long face? Drink?
What? Oh, yes, thanks.
Did you manage to get in touch with Nick Clark?
No, I tried, but he wasn't at home. I left a message.
Well, you can forget about it till tomorrow, then. Huh?
Can I forget about it?
Hang on. Yes. Cheers.
How was your day?
Oh, not too bad. It's good to be home, though. Darling, you're home. Relax. Forget about Mum, the office, Nick Clark, all of them.
Wish I could.
What you need is a holiday.
Oh, fat chance I've got of getting one.
Well, you must have some leave due. We only had a few days for the honeymoon. I could take a week or two off and we could go away somewhere, just lie in the sun, relax and enjoy ourselves. How about that?
Sounds marvellous, but I wouldn't be able to relax.
Of course you would.
No, I wouldn't, honestly. I couldn't leave Nick now. I just feel as though I'd run out on him. I'd be one more person who'd let him down. Darling, I'm sorry. Let's just drop the subject, eh? For tonight, anyway.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You were very quiet on the way home. Is something the matter?
That deal you made with Gaffney.
What about it?
Have you done anything about arranging a transfer?
Why should I? A scum like that don't
That
deserve...
scum is going to make our job a whole lot easier.
Gaffney's evidence was worthless once Jim Fletcher got into the act.
That still doesn't alter the fact that you made a deal. You've got to honour it.
Honour? And what would Gaffney know about honour?
Vera, we're not talking about Gaffney. We're talking about you, other officers. Look, we can get a lot of information out of tame criminals, but we're not going to get it for nothing. Give them what they want and we'll get the good oil. But you renege on the deal, and the word is going to get around. Now, look, not honouring that deal with Gaffney is going to set us back years.
Can't we not talk about work for 5 minutes?
Vera, you don't understand. You're breaking down the whole chain of communication.
All right, all right.
Then you'll see Erica in the morning about the transfer?
Come on, get your coat. We'll be late.
Not until we settle this.
All right, I'll see Mrs. Davidson in the morning.
Good.
Hello, Morris. Yes, she's here.
Who is it?
Now, look, Clark, I've had just about...
Let me speak to him. Hello? I'll be there in a few minutes.
Where do you think you're going?
To Nick, he's in trouble.
Meg, it's nearly midnight.
Darling, I'm sorry, but it's urgent.
Well, how urgent?
He's threatened to kill himself.
Meg, can't you see? It's a bluff. Now, once he knows he's got you on a string, he'll be calling you every hour of the day and night.
Darling, please, let me go.
Meg, you're not leaving this house tonight.
I just don't understand you, Bob. If something happens to Nick, it'll be my fault. Or your fault.
Rubbish, Meg. Can't you see he's just blackmailing you?
I don't call a cry for help blackmail.
Well, I do. Now, once he knows you're at his beck and call, he'll be phoning every time he feels in need of a bit of sympathy.
Oh, Bob, be reasonable. If Nick's in trouble, I may be the only one to help him.
Meg, we have called the police. Now, if they can't do anything, I don't see how you can help.
But why didn't he phone the police instead of me? I can't let him down now.
But it's not your job.
Oh, what the hell do you think my job is? If it's helping people like Nick. And if you can't understand this situation,
Meg,
then
there is a limit to the amount of help you can give any one person. Now, look, what's the point of our being married if we never see each other? If you're going to spend your entire life running around chasing lost causes?
Well, I don't see much point in our marriage either. Not if you can't understand how important my work is to me.
Morris. Yeah. Yes, I thought that might be the case. Thanks for your help. Good night. What was the police? I just checked out the building he was threatening to jump off. There's no sign of him, Meg. It's just as I thought it was a hoax.
Hey, missed out on your beauty sleep last night, did you, Miss Bennett?
Shut up, Bryant, and get moving.
Oh, I'm just wild about Terry, and Terry's wild about me.
Come on, Jude, what are you on about?
Oh, well, we told you before, Bea, but of course you're another person then. But it went like this. So you were losing your memory.
Yeah, well, I reckon Harrison was losing his eyesight because him and Vera were, you know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
You don't say.
Yeah, they're having it off.
You're having me on.
Oh, I don't see why Vera shouldn't have a fella. She's only human. Seems like you're losing your memory too.
Yeah, I think it's catching.
Some more toast?
Thank you.
How about a rush?
Okay. God, it's Nick!
us all about it, and then we'll have a word with the police, shall we?
Now, hold on, Bob. Why, Nick?
What would you care? You couldn't even be bothered coming to see me last night.
I would have come. I
How
tried.
dare you interfere in our lives? How dare you ring in the middle of the night? Now, what gives you the right to harass my wife?
Bob, this isn't
You think you've got problems? Don't you think other people have got theirs? Now, look, there are thousands of kids out there with more problems than you'll ever know about. They don't go around chucking bricks through windows and blackmailing people into helping them. Now, I've had enough of you, and Meg's had enough of you.
Yeah, and I've had enough too. People say they'll help.
Oh, you're going to throw yourself off a building again, are you? Well, just go ahead and do it.
Bob?
I might just do that.
You haven't got the guts.
I'm not scared. I'm not frightened of anything.
Well, prove it.
How?
Well, prove it by showing you can face up to reality. Sort out your problems. Show a bit of determination.
Great. I've heard it all before. You've got the world at your feet, Nick. I haven't even got a job.
I'll give you a job. Yeah, I'll give you a job and a room in our house. Now, that all adds up to living like a human being. So you've got nothing to complain about, have you?
Why?
Just to prove to myself that I'm right about you.
What do you mean?
It's my bet he'll cop out in a week.
I bet I won't.
We'll see. You start work this morning. Wait outside. I'll be out in a minute. What have I done wrong now?
I'm glad about the job, darling. But what's the department going to think when they find out I've got one of my probationers living with me? I mean, you know what they think about personal involvement.
Personal involvement? Meg, what do you call all this running around worrying? You can't relax even when you're at home. Anyway, I feel as if I've had the idiot living under my roof for a week already.
Do you really think it's going to solve his problems?
I think it's worth a try, Meg. And you could give some emotional backup. It seemed to be what he's asking for.
Oh, thank you, darling. I do appreciate it. But what made you do it?
Well, one, to stop you worrying about him, and... Well, I didn't really do very well with Tracy, did I? And thought maybe I could give another kid a chance.
You can't make a habit of it.
It won't happen again, will it?
Can I see you a minute?
Yes, of course. Oh, Miss Bennett, come in.
It's about Gaffney. I had an arrangement with her.
What sort of an arrangement?
If she'd testify against Smith at the trial, was helpful to the prosecution, she'd be transferred to Barnhurst.
What? You had no authority to offer her anything. If anyone is transferred, it is my decision.
I'm sorry I didn't come to you first.
And I am sorry you saw fit to indulge in what can only be described as bribery.
Oh, Mrs.
I think that's overstating the case. But we still have an obligation to honor the deal.
We have no obligation at all, and I am surprised that an officer of your caliber could get himself involved in such a situation.
Well, it wasn't Mr. Harrison. I made the deal with Gaffney.
I see.
Well, it doesn't matter who's responsible. I still think that cultivating informers is a good policy.
Prisoner cooperation is highly desirable, I agree. But there are other, shall we say, more professional ways of achieving it. The Needs Committee is one.
Well, perhaps we went about it the wrong way, but we still have a problem on our hands. There's going to be strife between Gaffney and Smith. I think this could be avoided by transferring Gaffney.
There is nothing in Gaffney's recent behavior that suggests she is eligible for Barnhurst.
If the department knew of the friction between Smith and Gaffney, I think you could convince them.
I have no intention of contacting the department. Gaffney stays here.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
And I suggest that you both think very carefully about your ethics as prison officers. I will not tolerate such high-handed or contemptible action from my staff. You may go.
Hey.
Oh.
Take it
Oh,
easy,
it's
take
you.
it easy. Listen, about your transfer.
Yeah?
It's no go. Miss Bennett saw Mrs. Davidson about it this morning, but she wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, well, whoever thought a screw would keep its word.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gaffney. You see, the situation, Miss Bennett was a little out of line in offering you that transfer without official approval.
Yeah, well,
But she really thought she could swing it.
we all make mistakes, don't we?
Yeah. Cigarette?
Thanks. Makes a change from the rubbish we're getting here.
Oh? What do you smoke on the outside?
Rollies. She's got bucklers of getting good tobacco inside.
Well, I'll see if I can stretch a point. Bring some in for you.
What?
Well, I wouldn't make a habit of it, but, well, a pouch of tobacco. It's not as if I'm offering you a hacksaw, is it? I'll see what I can do about it at lunchtime.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Morris.
I'm so sorry I'm late. We had a broken window and I had to wait for the glaziers to come.
No, not at all. I heard about the disturbed night that you had.
Oh?
Yes, the police phoned. You acted very sensibly in bringing them in. Congratulations. Young Clark could make a habit of that sort of thing.
Yes.
Well, according to the police, they didn't catch sight of him, so I imagine he must have thought better of it.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be all right.
Yes, well, one way or another, young people usually seem to work their problems out for themselves. But if you buy into them too deeply, well, you never get any peace at all. That's why the department frowns on any personal involvement. You're employed to give your cases professional help, not take on the responsibility for their entire lives.
Yes, well, I mean, I do try to keep that in mind.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Well, now, have you got those reports ready on Kennedy and Langford?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I haven't.
Well, they are rather urgent.
Yes, I know, but the last few days they've been really hectic.
You're not letting the work get on top of you, are you? I noticed there were another couple of reports late also.
Oh, I'm sorry. They'll be on your desk first thing in the morning.
Right. Just as soon as you can manage. We don't want you driving yourself into the ground, do we?
Anyway, Vera says to Terry, she says, "Come to bed, darling, it's late." And Terry says, "I'm not coming till you bring a brown paper bag." She says, "What do you want a brown paper bag for?" He said, "To put over your head."
You know, there's just got to be somewhere we can use it.
Then why don't we blackmail him?
Oh, a little subtlety, if you don't mind. I'll think of something. Who cares? What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I think she's upset about you letting Margot bash her. She'll get over it.
Yuck, something stinks. And I bet it's not the dirty washing.
A rat. A dead rat. Or very soon will be.
Now, I wonder where the pack is.
What pack?
Oh, the rat pack. Old Bev and Lil.
Oh, they've deserted the sinking ship. Shh. Hey. Did you hear a squeak?
Listen, if you're going to bash me, why don't you just get it over with?
Yeah, I heard that squeak too. You know, one thing upsets my pacemaker. Yeah? It's a rat. You're going to have to do something about it, Bea.
All right, all in our own good time. Like a bolt out of the blues. Zap! Hey, Lizzie, how's the book going? What book? Well, you know. I told you last night you're taking over as prison bookie.
All right, that book.
Wait a minute, I've always been the bookie.
Don't tell Gaffney, though. We don't want to upset her. I mean, it's not long before, well, you know what I mean.
I didn't mean to startle you. Here. Hope that's the brand you like.
Ta.
Ah, how are things? Everything all right?
Yeah? Well, shouldn't I be?
Oh, it's just you had a bit of trouble with Smith yesterday.
Why are you so interested? I mean, the screws don't worry about us.
I'm just doing my job. As a prison officer, my duty to look after the prisoners. All of them.
Don't seem to be very busy.
Tea break. But I better be getting back.
Yeah, well, thanks again for the rollies. It's real nice of you.
My compliments.
Ah, there you are. How was your day?
Oh, not bad.
Oh, not bad, but not brilliant either. Drink?
Yes, please, I'd love one.
Nick?
Oh, no, thanks. What are you doing?
Oh, just catching up on some reports.
You work quite hard enough, darling, without bringing paperwork home.
I've nearly finished. Tell me, what does a junior clerk do?
Nothing much.
Don't underestimate it. Being a courier is not just herring around in a car. It's a responsible position.
I'm sure Nick realises that.
I do. Just hope I don't muck it up.
Well, you won't if you put your mind to it.
Would you like to turn on the telly?
Would that be okay?
If there's nothing else on. Meg works full-time, Nick. She could do with a hand around the house.
Oh, sure. What can I do?
Well, you can peel the vegetables for dinner if you like. They're out on the bench in the kitchen.
Okay.
Aren't you overdoing the heavy father bit?
That's what he needs. And I suspect it's what he wants. Somebody who cares enough to tick him off.
Tell me honestly, how did he go today?
Honestly? Very well. He worked hard and he learned quickly.
I'm pleased.
In know, early days yet, but there's a possibility that he just might make a go of it.
Hi.
Terry, why didn't you ring me?
What's the matter? You look fine.
Oh, I can just imagine.
Oh, sorry. Look, if it's inconvenient, I'll
No, come in.
You sure now?
Of course.
Well, I thought we'd just have a nice, quiet night in front of television. Oh, sorry. These are for you.
Oh, thank you.
Anything to drink?
Yes, help yourself.
Oh, good.
Sit down.
Oh, fine. Vera, look, I was wondering.
What about?
Well, you know the flat I'm in, the one I'm looking after for friends?
Yes.
Well, they've come home sooner than expected.
Oh, what a shame.
It's very annoying.
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Look, do you think I can move in here? Only be for a couple of days until I can find another flat.
Of course.
Are you sure? I don't want to cause any problems.
Yes. You've practically been living here anyway.
Oh, thanks, love. I really appreciate that.
Good Lord, darling, you all right?
No, I think I've got the flu.
Shouldn't you be in bed then?
I can't. I've got all those reports to return to the office. They should have been there yesterday.
Oh, nonsense. I can wait till tomorrow. You ought to see a doctor.
Can you take me?
Well, I'm flat out. Nick, could you drive Meg to the doctor's? You can take her car, then when you've seen the doctor and brought her back here, you can come on to work, okay?
Sure.
I've got to go now.
Bye.
Take care.
Would you like some coffee, Mrs. Morris?
No, thanks.
You know, I really appreciate what you're doing for me. It's like having a real home. Look, why don't you go back to bed? The doctor won't be able to see you till 9, so you might as well sleep till then.
Yes. Yes, I think I will, Nick.
Good morning, Mr. Harrison.
Morning, Gaffney. How's tricks?
A lot better after having a good smoke. Thanks again.
Ah, don't mention it. You picked all the winners, have you?
Well, that'll be the day. You interested in the judges?
Oh, I've been known to have a bet or two. Mind you, I'm not a fanatic.
Nah, neither am I. But that's one of the things you miss being in here. The occasional flutter.
Yeah, I suppose it would be.
I suppose, well, it'd be too much trouble for you to put a bet on for me at the TAB, wouldn't it?
Well, it sounds pretty harmless.
Well, the third race at Kyneton. Fancy Nancy and Paradise Lost, $2 each way.
Sounds like a good bet. I'd put $1 on myself.
Sure you can remember?
Oh, I think so. Well, I'll fix it up for you.
Hey, don't you want to know where I got the cash from?
Not particularly.
Oh, there's old Vinegar Tits. I wonder where her other half is.
Yeah. She's just wild about Terry, and Terry's wild about me.
Just get on with your breakfasts.
What's the point in doing that if she's not going to bite?
Don't let it get you down, Jude.
I wonder where Gaffney is.
She hasn't had a meal yet.
Too yellow to show her face.
I reckon I know where she is.
Where?
Reckon I know where Harrison is, too.
What are you getting at?
Well, I think you're wrong about him having it off with Vera.
Oh, come on. Don't be so damn mysterious.
He's having it off with Margot.
Me off you a rocker.
No, I'm not. You should have seen what he got in for her yesterday.
What?
Tobacco.
How do you know that?
Because I heard her thanking him yesterday just before tea.
You mean you've known all this time and you didn't tell us?
Yeah. You had your secret, so I've got mine.
You hold out on me again like that, and I'll brain you.
Break it up, you two.
Well, I wonder what Gaffney's up to this time.
He's down to 550. Nick, how did Meg get on with the doctors?
She's got the flu. Her doctor's given her antibiotics. The temperature's up, but
Well, as long as she's back in bed resting, that's the main thing. Thanks, Nick. You're 550.
Mr. Morris?
Yeah?
About Mrs. Morris's files. I thought I might drop them into her office for her. Do you think that'd be all right?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
I hope you appreciate this, Gaffney. What? Being given trolley duty.
It's all right, I suppose.
Keeps you out of the laundry for the better part of the day, doesn't it?
So?
I thought you'd be glad to get away from Smith. Still, if you want to go back, I can always arrange it.
What's Mr. Harrison really like, Miss Bennett?
Don't be insolent.
No, it's just that I've been in and out of this dump for years, and it's the first time I've ever met a real, live, bent screw.
You better mind what you say, Gaffney.
It's true, Miss Bennett. He just took some bets for me. He's going to put them on at the TAB.
Making false accusations against an officer is a criminal offence.
Go ask Loverboy about Fancy Nancy and Paradise Lost in the Third at Kyneton, then.
Oh, yes, what can I do for you?
It's about Mrs. Morris.
Well, Mrs. Morris is sick today. I'll just note your name and record your attendance.
It's Nick Clive.
Oh, you're the one responsible for the suicide hoax.
Yes, sir.
Now, look, Mrs. Morris is here to help you, not to be harassed every time you need a bit of attention.
I'm sorry, but...
We're very fortunate that Mrs. Morris gave you a good report. Otherwise, you can be sure this matter would have been investigated by the Welfare Department.
It won't happen again.
Well, see that it doesn't. All right, I've recorded your name. Here we go.
I came to deliver these reports.
Well, these are confidential. Where did you get them?
From home.
What?
Mrs. Morris is sick, so I brought them in for her.
You said home.
That's right. I'm staying with Mr. and Mrs. Morris.
Are you? Are you indeed?
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night